Hey everyone, John Lorden here. Before we get started on today's case, I just wanted to remind all of you, today is April 18th, 2018. It was exactly 2 years ago today that Terry Missy Beavers was found dead in the church. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that case, footage of someone dressed up in a police tactical outfit walking through the church. I'm working really hard on an episode of BrainScratch for this Friday. I found a podcast that is doing a deep dive into this case. I'm going to have their host come on with me. We're going to take you through all the updates. I actually haven't done a video on that case since early 2017. So we're going to bring you up to speed and let you know about some information that shook out towards the end of 2017, not discussed a whole lot publicly. A lot has gone into that episode, so I just wanted to let you all know to tune in on Friday. Now, let's talk about today's case. This case, I heard from a few of you on Twitter. I noticed that there was a particular person that was talking about this case on social media a bit. We're going to talk more about him by the end of this video. But when I went looking for information on it, this is exactly in Searchlight territory. There are numerous news articles about the basics of the case, like the day he went missing, the last time he was seen, what his name is, and that's about it. There are a few articles that give us much more insight, particularly into what type of person Gabriel Cordova is. And we're even going to learn that his last name is actually Cordova Tejada. You don't really see that a whole lot in terms of the social media that is kicking around on him. He went missing recently, just in February of this year. A lot of very strange things going on with this case, and one of them is I don't know why there isn't more coverage on it, especially local media. Admittedly, it might not have everything that makes a great national missing persons story, but for local media, I'm kind of surprised. So let's jump into this case together, starting at NamUs. We got the basic case information here. Gabriel Ivan Cordova Tejada, last seen February 22nd, 2018 at 6:30 in the morning, 20 years old, Hispanic Latino male. For his height, they have him at 5'8" to 5'10", and for his weight, 160 to 170 pounds. Missing from St. Petersburg, Florida, and he was actually a student at USF, the University of South Florida in Tampa. Even the details about why he's missing from St. Petersburg aren't exactly known. I don't know if that's where his family lives. I would kind of assume so based on some of the things that we're going to hear, but it is an assumption, so I just wanted to point that out. In terms of his NamUs profile, brown hair, brown eyes, really no distinctive body features. We've got no piercings, no tattoos, no surgery scars or kind of foreign objects that might be from surgery in his body. Clothing and accessories are described below: dark gray or dark blue shirt and jeans. Really just a very tough case in terms of the description that we're getting here. Transportation methods, no transportation methods noted in his disappearance. Even dental information they don't have available. It might be because his family immigrated to the U.S. I don't know if maybe that information is back in the country that they came from, which was the Dominican Republic. DNA, they do have a sample available, but it is not yet submitted. I guess they're still processing that. Fingerprint information, they do have available elsewhere. I'm wondering if that might be part of the immigration process, if they might have gotten his fingerprints through there, but I don't know for sure. And then we have a few pictures of him. This picture in particular, I think gives a really good likeness of his face based on all the photos that I've seen. So I wanted to share this one with you guys and really make sure that you kind of burn this into your memories. This is someone that we're looking for, particularly if you're in the Florida area. But honestly, with him missing for coming up on 2 months now, if he did leave for some reason, he could be a lot of places in America. So please take a good look at this photo and keep him in mind. Outside of that, they do have investigating agency contact information. All that good stuff is going to be in the description box below. If you have some piece of info that can help in this case, if you think you might have seen him somewhere, please use the details in the description box below and let the authorities know so they can try to figure out where Gabriel is. Jumping over to a Facebook post from the St. Petersburg Police Department. This is from back February 27th, so about 5 days after he went missing. They have another photo, an updated photo here. They're saying at this point that an extensive search hasn't been successful. I really haven't been able to find any details about what type of search this is, where they actually search. Now, here they're saying he was last seen in the 9100 block of MLK Street North. I do have a map that we can take a look at here. This is MLK Street North right here. But it's listing the 9100 block in particular being in a closed and gated community. I believe it's a condo complex. I don't know if this is potentially where he was living with his family, but this is closed off. There are gates at both the entrance and the exit to this place. So I wish we had more detail in terms of his last sighting. That's literally all they say, is that it's the 9100 block. I don't know if they mean it's the block out here where there's a bunch of businesses. We can see, restaurants, another apartment building. There's some homes down here. But we have no detail in terms of his last sighting, even how that occurred. Was it on video? Was someone driving by and recognized him? I just don't know. Something else very important they note in this Facebook post: Gabriel has mental health issues and is in need of medication. His mother speaks pretty openly about this in the few articles that seem to feature this story. We're going to get some more detail on that as we roll forward. But one more Facebook post from the police department, March 14th. Gabriel Cordova is still missing. And of course, we are over a month past that now at this point, and I still can't find any updates in terms of him being found or what's going on with that. Moving over to WFLA.com, we're going to hear from his family about some of the conditions around the day that he disappeared. Carlos Cordova was the first to find his brother's backpack, wallet, and cell phone at home last Thursday, but Gabriel wasn't there. Gabriel's mother, Angela, says she's living a nightmare. She and her family moved here from the Dominican Republic 5 years ago. Quote, "My biggest fear is that when we came here, we know that this is a country of people who disappear and vanish." Really kind of hurts me a little bit to hear that internationally, when people talk about America, that's a fear that some people have out there. But it hurts me because of the work that I do here. It seems like it's true. Now, admittedly, we do cover cases all around the world, but we do have a lot of missing person cases that happen here in America. She goes on to talk about that there's no way he got mixed up with the wrong crowd, that he was pretty shy. He didn't seem to make a lot of friends, and he did struggle specifically with depression, but he dealt with that by helping others. Quote, "He volunteered at St. Anthony's Hospital for 3 years. Even with his depression and everything, he has been a student in USF." And she says that he was getting, I believe he was getting close to straight A's on top of all that. So it seems like a very hard-working young man. Also had a job. We're going to get to some more details about that right now from the USF Oracle. I take it it's a student newspaper for the University of South Florida. This was published March 7th of 2018, and we see a picture of him here working in his position there. We're going to get some more details. Cordova is a Tampa campus student, but he was reported missing from St. Petersburg. Let me just do a quick search to see how far these addresses are from each other for you guys. Well, now this is curious. When I put in USF, I'm actually seeing some addresses that are in St. Petersburg, so I don't know if they have an offshoot of the school that is in that area as well. This one that just says USF St. Petersburg is actually within 10 miles of the address that he went missing from. And I'm seeing there's also a fitness center that seems to be in this part of town. So the Tampa address, when I do plug that in, that's more like an hour drive. So I don't know if that's really feasible, that he would have been commuting to school and living here. I guess it is. like I said, guys, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can with the very limited information that is available. Let me say at this point to Gabriel's family, if any of you want to come on the channel and help us clarify some of this, please reach out to me. You can email me at john@lordenarts.com, just like it's spelled in the channel name down below. Maybe you can help us come to understand this case a whole lot better than we do at this point. Cordova is a mechanical engineering major. Outside of the classroom for the past year, he has worked within the Student Business Services office, situated within the Student Government Suite in the Marshall Student Center. His supervisor, Mike Steuben, commends him for not only his respectfulness and work ethic, but also his genuine personality. If you've watched any of my videos about missing persons cases and the tips that I put out for those cases, one of the things that I frequently talk about is you need to have someone that is kind of a quarterback for the case, almost someone that is working like a private investigator, but usually related to the family in some way. His supervisor, Mike Steuben, I would say, is the quarterback for the search for Gabriel on social media. He's really been blasting messages all over the place. It was actually a tweet from him that was forwarded to me that clued me in on this whole case. So I just wanted to give a special thank you to Mike for working so hard at trying to raise exposure to this case. I agree with you. There needs to be more exposure to this case. So hopefully we can find Gabriel and bring him home and give his family the answers that they're looking for. But let's learn more about him with this information from Mike. Quote, he's an absolutely wonderful person. He probably didn't do a lot of social things away from the office, but certainly had a great relationship while we were here. As a student business services employee, Cordova worked to help with the purchasing of materials and travel resources for student organizations. His position entailed assisting organizations in supplying food and some form of entertainment at numerous events. Quote, this is going to sound like a crazy number, but there's probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of students who were impacted by his work here in some small way, who never knew who he was because he was helping create the purchasing of so many events taking place on campus, Steuben said. It was one of those behind-the-scenes jobs that had an important part in the process. Whether they knew him directly or just knew of him, people care about him and are worried for him and want to get him back, Steuben said. I'm sure he's out there. I'm confident he's okay, but we just got to find him and get him back to his family and figure out what he needs. I also found this site. I'm not familiar with it. It's called thebullspen.com, but Mike made some posts here trying to share more information about Gabriel, and people have been kind of asking back, any updates? Mike keeps saying no. And then March 4th, I'm amazed at how little coverage this is getting. I totally agree with you, Mike. There should be a lot more information that is coming out about this case, and I'm having trouble finding it even to put this video together. The most recent update on this board comes from last Friday, where someone else was asking any update on this case, and Mike once again replied he'd been out traveling for the past week, but sadly, still no news. No idea what that means. Always hoping for the best. He did also share a message that was sent from Gabriel's mother to him. Hi, Mike. My name is Angela Tejada, and I am Gabriel Cordova's mom. I could not get in touch with you before because I am a wreck with this situation, as you can imagine. But I want to express how grateful I am for the article in the Oracle and the efforts made to help find Gabriel. This Thursday, March 22nd, is going to be 1 month, and we are as clueless as the first day. We are desperate by how little has been done, and we are full of despair as time goes by. Please don't let Gabby turn into a statistic. Keep spreading the flyers and hope someone will tell us something. Thanks again for the support and the concern for my boy. So as we can see, we have a mother very distressed, and that was back before it hit the 1 month mark, and we are coming up very quickly on the 2 month mark. There is a Web Sleuths thread on this. However, it's only one page. It's basically just pointing to the few articles on this. There's not even really a conversation kicking around this case so much. which is really one of the reasons why I wanted to feature it and try to get this face out there. If you have friends in the Florida area, please share this video with them. Let's raise exposure to Gabriel. Let's get more eyes out there looking for him, more ears to the ground, listening for information that might pertain to why he left, where he went. This is one of those tough cases because, and maybe this is why media backs off it, I don't know, but when you mention that someone is struggling with depression and all of a sudden they don't have their medication, I think some of us think the worst. Some of us think that, he didn't want to live for some reason or something along those lines. We have no idea or no real solid reason to come to that conclusion. Yes, depression is a very tricky beast. Yes, people struggle with it, even people that are on medication. Sometimes the medications stop working, or sometimes people don't feel so good when they're on those types of medications, so they stop taking them for some reason. From the information that I'm getting around this case, this guy feels like a pretty straight arrow in terms of how hard he's working. The people that work with him really admire how hard he works. His grades are good. Admittedly, he's taking on a lot, but he's a young man trying to attack this world and has only been in this country for 5 years. Does that have something to do with all this? I really don't know. It's just another thing to consider. Did he leave for some reason because he didn't want to be part of his home life anymore, or he wanted to go find something else out there in America, or possibly that he wanted to go back to the Dominican Republic? There's a lot of questions around this case. I don't know how many of those situations really fit here because of how limited the information is around this. We don't have a solid timeline. I really wish that the police department would come out and at least let us know more about that last sighting. Was he seen at a particular business? Was he seen carrying anything? Did they notice what direction he was going off in? Was he seen near a bus stop where he might have been waiting for a bus or a ride or something like that? It's tough because what we do know is it seems like he left his critical stuff behind. His backpack is left behind, his phone, his wallet, it's all left behind. What is going on in this case? I don't know, brain scratchers. This is where I turn it over to you. Let's talk about this in the comments below. As usual, I'm going to ask that we please stay respectful. There's a very good chance, especially in a case that has as limited coverage as this one does, that the family is going to see it. Please, if you are one of those family members, know that we are trying to help. We are trying to raise exposure to this case. We're trying to do something that, for some reason, media is stepping away. They're backing away from this case. I don't understand why. But we're here trying to help you guys. Our hearts and minds are with you. And if there is anything I can do, as I said before, please reach out to me. Please contact me. We could bring you on the channel. If you don't want to do that, I could just do an interview with you. You can give me the information. I can do an update and let the audience out there know the new details. And maybe those details will help us in terms of what direction we should be looking or avenues that we should be looking down. And we really need some guidance in that with how loose this case is right now. Really, really a tough one. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I can't do this without you guys. It wouldn't work. So please share this video. Thank you for being part of this wonderful community that cares about these cases the way I do. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. Stay safe, take care, and come back for more here on the Lord and Arts channel.